Good morning and welcome to the Ascension Café. I'm Carrie Knott and I'm so glad you're here. This is a gentle, relaxed space for soul conversations where the awakening meets everyday life. A place to pause, breathe, and explore what it means to live in greater awareness, in love, compassion, and truth. So settle in, grab yourself a cuppa, and let's begin. So, beloveds, last week in the Ascension Café was our first episode, and I was really guided to talk about that transition through the death cycle and being prepared for the birth. And I'm not actually going to talk about the birth cycle as yet today. I want to just continue that exploration, but looking at it from a different viewpoint. So last week I spoke about those trials that we go through in the death cycle, that it sometimes feels chaotic, it feels challenging. And we have actually, over this last week or two, we have had extremely intense energies here on planet Earth. I'm not an astrologer, but I do follow astrology because I'm high sensitive. And I know that planetary alignment does impact my emotions. And of course, that's the absolute intention. You know, each of those planetary alignments has a purpose. And you may have been experiencing intense emotions, or maybe even challenges in your life. Maybe relationships have been challenging or difficult, whether they be with loved ones, a romantic relationship, a working relationship, with friends, neighbours, etc. Or maybe there's been other challenges and initiations for you, other difficulties for you. And I think one of the biggest things when we are going through these cycles on our ascension path, and it's important to remember, ascension is about awakening to the truth, not just to the truth of things that are external to us, but our own inner truth. So as we go through these cycles, it is really important to remember that things happen for us, not to us. So what do I mean? What do I mean by that? We hear that phrase a lot within our spiritual circles. We might see it on social media. But it's about perspective. It's about the perspective we choose. And it doesn't matter what you're going through in your life, how challenging or difficult it is. It is about the perspective you choose. I'm talking from my own experience. I'm not sitting here on a pedestal. I'm talking to you as a friend, as another awakened soul going through the ascension path, experiencing the highs and the lows. And I'm talking to you from the perspective that I have too had a very challenging life. I've also been extremely blessed in my life. But the perspective I'm talking about is that higher perspective. It's how we view those challenges, those initiations that we go through in this earthly life, embodying our awakening as a human being. So I want to give you an example. In my blog, I spoke about an example, and I think it's an example that a lot of us will have experienced at some point. So the first example I want to share with you is, you may be moving house. And there's delays. There's delay after delay, as there often is in these kind of transactions in our humanness. It's frustrating and it's stressful. You've organized things, you've planned things, you have to reorganize and change that schedule because things are out of your control. There's lots of factors at play here. There are the people you're buying the house from or you're moving into that house. There are possibly letting agents or estate agents. There may be solicitors involved if it's the purchase of a house. And then, of course, there's the people who live in that house, and there's people around you as well. And each and every one of those souls has free will. They will make choices and decisions that may impact you in some way, shape, or form. And you have no control over that. And those delays in your world to your time schedule are frustrating. But what if we actually just stop, pause, breathe? And instead of going, why is all this happening? This is so frustrating. Stepping back and thinking, okay, yeah, this isn't ideal. I've got to change plans again. I'm going to have to ring the removals people again and hope they're available. I'm going to have to tell work that I need time off now on a different date. I hope that works out. But if we step back and we actually say, okay, yeah, it's not ideal. I've got to change plans. But how is this helping me? How is this protecting me or even redirecting me? And that's exactly what I'm on about when we choose that perspective. Yes, we could sit there and go, this is an absolute nightmare. I'm stressed out to the hilt. I feel I've got a headache. I'm this, da, 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 da. And so on and so forth. And if you're anything like me, you've got quite a loud, shouty, egoic mind that will put problems in the way when you don't need them. That will make things seem bigger than they are. But that stepping back, that getting out of your head, that just taking a breath, being still, dropping into your heart, that's the key. It is the mastering of the egoic mind, and it is shifting your perspective to a higher perspective. It's changing that inner dialogue from why is this happening to me to how is this helping me? Because it will be. Everything has a purpose and a reason. And often or not, when we are going through challenges, initiations, it's not happening to us. Spirit aren't testing us. They're not making life difficult for us. They're not trying to put hurdles in our way. They're not sat there in the spirit realms laughing at us going, oh, this is quite entertaining. No, they're helping us. They're supporting us. They're either redirecting us or they're putting a sacred pause in place because it's not quite the right time. It wouldn't be for your highest and greatest good. And I want to give you a different kind of example of that. And this example could be, around a friendship, a connection, a relationship. So imagine you've connected with a new person. That initial connection feels quite good. And yeah, you may have some resonations. Excuse me. Your soul could have been giving you little signs and signals that something doesn't quite add up. But on that initial meeting, it was good. There was good chat and conversation, connection, a chemistry. But just something is niggling. And you plan and you arrange to meet up. And it's exciting. It's great. But things keep changing, plans keep changing. Something happens and you have to contact that person and say, I'm really sorry. Let's change the time. Let's change the date. And then they contact you and do the same. And it's frustrating and disappointing. But there's a purpose behind it. And you could choose to try and force that meeting by changing your plans, fitting in, or trying to make it happen quicker than it should. But Spirit put things in our way, not only to protect us, but so that when that does happen, it is for the highest and greatest good. So when we stop, we step back and we listen to those little signs and we go, okay, it's not quite the right time yet. There's a reason this needs to wait. So we stop forcing. And within time, miraculously, that wonderful meeting happens. And that sense of there being something not quite right is gone. It is about taking that higher perspective. And on the ascension path, that is the mastery of the egoic mind. It is learning to step back. It's learning to be fully present in the moment, not allowing the past to impact your future because you're holding on to the past. You have fear around certain situations or circumstances. Oh, I've moved house before. That was an absolute nightmare. It was really stressful. There was lots of delays. Or, oh gosh, last time I met a new friend, they turned out to be an absolute psycho. If we stay in the past, that's the energy we take in to the future. Whereas if we learn to heal and release and let go of the past, if we've learned our lesson from the past, then we trust that if things don't go how we expect them to go in our humanness, to our timings, or to how we think something should play out and unfold in our lives, then we are going to get in our own way. We are going to get in the way of the divine miracles and blessings that absolutely could be coming to us. Or we're going to get in the way of the protection or the redirection because it's not for us. It's not right for us. So it's not about being idle. It's not about not doing and just being completely complacent and just expecting your spirit team and your angels to sort it all out for you. But it is about awareness. It is about being aware of why and how is this helping me? And why am I responding like that? What within me is unhealed? Why am I not trusting fully in this process? It's about bringing that awareness to the self, doing any healing you need to do. It's also about making sure that you aren't blocking yourself or getting in your own way and just trusting the process. I hope this conversation today in the Ascension Cafe has really helped you. Let it soften into you. Let it speak to your soul and your heart. And I do sincerely hope that you join me next time. But until then, please connect with me on YouTube at Carrie Not Serendipity. There is a beautiful meditation, a new meditation on there to help you to connect with your higher self, to connect with that inner peace and to listen to your soul and get out of your head. And please take a look at carrienot.com and read the blog as well. There's a beautiful prayer on there, a daily prayer that you can connect with and that you can use to help you on this ascension journey, moving this shortest distance from the egoic mind into the heart space, working with them coherently, the mind and the heart. So, beloveds, I hope to see you next week in the Ascension Café. And until then, have the most beautiful and blessed week. And it's loving blessings from me, Carrie Knott, in the Ascension Café.